Wouldn't it be cool if you could just walk up to your favorite producers and engineers or the people who make the audio gear you're using every single day and just ask them questions? Ask them their number one piece of advice for self-recording artists, or ask them how to get the most out of the gear you're using. Well, this is exactly what we've done at Studioszene 2023 in Hamburg, Germany. So we are here at the Studioszene event in beautiful Hamburg. This is the lead con and also Studioszene, which is our part of it basically. And yeah, I think let's walk in and show people what this is all about.
Let's go see it.
Let's go.
Please open door, please open. Yes.
Keep calm and walk to the nearest exit.
That's not a good thing to play if that's a joke. That's not good. Yeah.
So, hello, we're here at Studioszene in Hamburg again. This time with Jill Zimmermann.
Hi.
We ran into her, which is super awesome because we, as you guys know, we had her on the podcast and we enjoyed this conversation so much. So very nice to meet you again here.
Nice to see you again, yes.
Yeah. You did a masterclass yesterday here, which was fantastic.
I know, I loved it. It was crazy. I couldn't believe so many people showed up that early in the morning.
It was packed.
Yeah. Did you get a lot of questions after that or feedback? Or?
Yes, even throughout the day, people ran into me in the underground or even in the elevators. They're like, "Oh, you're Jill. I love your masterclass." I'm like,
Really?
Cool.
Cool.
I'm just trying to go home to my hotel room right now, but cool. Let's talk.
Yeah,
So
awesome.
I'm super happy because obviously people have still questions, and we couldn't get to all of the questions. So addressing that afterwards was really nice.
Yeah. Awesome. Perfect. So, did you see any piece of gear here that you got excited about particularly, or maybe discovered something new, or is there anything you want to?
There's a bunch of places where I'm still not even done.
Yeah.
Right? But there's a bunch of places that I really found interesting. Like I learned about certain companies that I didn't know before that really seem to do a good job. I played around with some gear and just see, where everything is. Because sometimes you forget to keep up with the new stuff, and it's really important because really that's what everybody will be using in the future. So it's really interesting to just see what companies have done in the last few years. And just
Going to be on the edge of what's going to be next, right? What's the next thing that gives an edge and changes?
It even makes you better as an engineer, right? Like even Shubs had these really small microphones for clip-on for, trombones and stuff. I'm like, well, if I do a big band again, it might be better than having those huge mics that constantly, because they're stationary but people move around, right? Like having a really tiny clip-on might be good. I don't know. Things to try out, right?
Absolutely. Did you, watch any of the masterclasses or
get to it today? No. Yesterday I did, and the day before I did.
Oh, really?
And this day I just try to see if I find anything else.
Oh, you were at Jason Joshua's yesterday, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I caught the end of it. I was a little late because I watched something else before, and there's so much going on, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I wish I was 3 people and could do everything, but...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is there one thing that we haven't, I don't know if you even remember what we were talking about on the podcast, because I don't honestly, we covered so much.
A lot.
Yeah. Is there something you feel like we forgot, or some piece of advice for self-recording artists maybe that you have that we didn't talk about?
Not off the top of my head, but
there's always something.
There's always something, and
Okay.
I love when people have certain questions because it makes you realize
Yeah.
that that's something people want to know about when you just do things, right? Like people having questions actually shows you what you should talk about next time, because then you realize that's something that people really wonder.
What was one of those questions yesterday, for example, after your masterclass there? Was there something that people were specifically interested in, or things people struggle with the most?
I think the one question that really helped me realize I should talk about that too was when the one guy was like, when people are live, there's this magic, but when you're in the studio, you just can't get it to work. And I'm like, okay, yeah, it's like the whole performance thing where people have to get out of themselves, and you have to like try to get them in that kind of mind space. So I think that's something that people need to know about too, because you can't just always only record live, because it really doesn't seem the same, it doesn't sound the same.
Yeah.
But getting that magic in the studio, how to get that and how to get closer to it at least, is something people want to know,
Yeah, you were talking about that a lot actually in the masterclass, which I really enjoyed. You were speaking about how to create the perfect, environment for them, how to make them feel comfortable.
Get them relaxed.
Yeah, not so they don't get in their head, and all these things that a lot of people don't talk about in their tutorials when it's all about the technical stuff, right? And you spent a lot of time talking about that, and you always came back to it, which shows how important it really is when you work with a vocalist,
more important
especially.
than the technical stuff.
Yeah.
100%. Because the technical stuff, you can easily learn. And like I said in your podcast too, once you have it set up, it's set up. Like if you're a self-recording artist, just get one perfect like signal chain with like your gain and everything, right? You're good. You don't have to touch anything anymore, right? The rest is all psychological. So for me, producing is like, you get the technical side done, but really producing is about all psychological stuff.
The one thing that I really liked that you said, but particularly about vocals, is that generally it's better not to have the whole band in the room crowded around watching the singer try and be vulnerable. And it happens all the time.
Work.
I don't know what that's about, but they just like try and kick them out and they sneak back in. I'm like, get out of here. It's private.
Yeah, totally.
100%. And it's weird because the singer is there when everyone else does their
Yeah,
instruments,
it's
right?
different.
But it's like, nope, everyone gets out. You know what's actually worse, and I should have maybe said that too? Parents or significant others.
Oh yeah, that's the worst.
I mean,
yeah.
parents I understand if you
Yeah.
deal with teenagers, because as much as it's annoying sometimes, like some parents are very late bait that they let you do your job. But I mean, I'd rather see parents with teenagers knowing that the kids are taken care of in the music business, because it's a hard industry to get into. And if you're young, right, it's good to have your guardian. But significant others, get them out. I don't care if you're the husband or the wife or the boyfriend or girlfriend, get out. Like, you will only tell the artist the whole time how wonderful they did, when I'm like, no, you're not there yet. Like, if you always hear you're great, but I know you can do better, I can't push you to that stage. And then it's just this weird, awkward, I've had it a few times, and you can't work. Then I just stop working. I'm just like recording engineer, because I can't. If your significant other's like, oh my God, you're doing the best job ever, my dear. You're like, okay, now record again. Like, I can't tell you otherwise, because who am I?
On the flip side, if they're brutally honest, they do it in the wrong way. As we all know, you don't tell a vocalist that they screwed up something. You tell them that they did something right somewhere else, so that they do that where you want, kind of thing. And
people they love, they will tell them
yeah,
everything.
it doesn't sound like you normally do. And that's
Or that's even worse, yeah.
Or also when
You sing better in the shower. Like,
Yeah.
doesn't help. Doesn't help.
Or also when they hear things that are not even a priority right now, nobody listens to that, but they spot something in the instrumental that is not important right now, and then they'll be like, can we just turn the bass up or whatever, and we're focusing on the vocals. Like, it's
Civilians
similar to
have to come out.
Yes, exactly. It's pretty much like the situation. I did a few years of live sound a while ago, and it's very similar, where you're trying to mix a band, and then someone, the bass player's dad or whatever, comes to you and tries to tell you that his son needs to be louder or whatever. It's a similar situation, just to let me do my job.
No, I don't mind if those people are quiet and in the back.
Exactly.
There's always these people that I totally don't mind them. If I don't know you're here, cool. Be there. But it's the people that intervene and just know where the talkback button is.
Yeah, totally.
That's the problem.
Yeah. The thing is, though, when you're self-recording, you don't have someone like you next to you who can guide you and coach you and get the best out of you, the best performances, which is, I think, one of the biggest challenges of self-recording, is not having a producer next to you and that coaching that you provide while you're doing this. So I think it's even more important what you said earlier, to separate those things where you set it up first, get the tech out of the way, and then focus on performing, because trying to do everything at once is even harder when you're alone, I think. So So how do
it might help having one band member that really
I was about to ask
you trust to not make you a little weird. Like, if you have one band member that really knows you, because if you ever sang and heard yourself back, you have no idea what you sound like. You just don't. I've done backing vocals and I'm like, I don't even know what I just sang.
Yeah.
Like it just comes out, it comes right back. Like you don't have the time to evaluate what you actually heard. And you don't even hear it correctly either because you're singing at the same time. So the audio is skewed and then you can't just always listen back. And even that's not representative. So it helps to have maybe one person that you really trust tell you, you know what, you can give it a little bit more or something like that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally. So, is there one thing that sort of you've had, like let's say in the last month or 2 months or whatever recently that you've worked on where you feel like, I wish they would have known this before they sent over the files or before they started working with me? Is there one sort of thing that, you know, you can tell people, like one story or one fuck up, basically?
Send me a demo. Like, the worst is, I mean, I get it. Sometimes it's hard to record a demo because it will not sound good, right? Like, let's face it, it's a demo. But that's fine.
Yeah.
I just want to know what the song is even like. If I just jump into a session and I have an instrumental track, and when you sing while I try to get your vocal sound in the first take, I have to think about also, well, what does the sound like? Like, it is so much processing where I'm like, my brain is half technical setting up while I'm flagging down which part am I at, thinking at the same time, okay, what is he even singing about? What is he singing? Like, what kind of emotion is he portraying? And then thinking also about like, what harmonies can I do? Like, it's just the creative and the technical side of the brain doesn't usually work well together. So if I just have at least an idea like a few days before and be like, oh, that's what the song's gonna be like, then it's all a little easier for me to even come up with parts and just help you out. Because then I don't jump into the cold water and have to figure out where to even swim.
Yeah.
Right?
Pre-production's needed at every stage.
Yeah, and
really,
even if it's just like the shittiest iPhone recording.
Absolutely, I'll take it.
Or any other phone, like obviously.
Has to be an iPhone.
No? Can be any smartphone.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
Well, I think we don't want to take up any more of your time. You want to check out some things, and it's not going for much longer. So, yeah, make sure you can see whatever you want to see and try out some gear because it's fun. And,
thanks.
Do that, and but thank you for taking the time, and our audience will appreciate it. Thank you, Chad.
Yeah,
Awesome,
thank you.
thanks.
For sure.
Bye.
And I'll see you back in Canada.